Someone's noisy! Hey guys, what's up? It's Anri. So in this video, I will be talking about my sets experience. So around the same time last year, I was also preparing for my own sets, the application process, and everything like that. Mga this time din yun, so mga June, July, I was thinking of what courses I wanted to apply for and what schools I wanted to go to, yung mga ganun. So since I have finally conquered and thankfully succeeded my sets, I wanted to share my experience and as well as maybe some tips that I feel like could help you go through it a bit easier, maybe. So I've actually listed down what I wanted to cover. So I will divide this video into 3 categories. So the basics, my study habits, and the sets mismo. Basta taking the test. Yan. Okay. For the basics, I took 5 sets. The acet, upcat, dcat, b, and ustet. So first, the application process. Feeling ko i-rank ko siya by most difficult or like the easiest to most difficult. So the easiest would have to be the ustet. I finished that application in like 5 minutes. Yung important lang sa ustet is the reference number. So you'll always need that and your password. And then, so that's the easiest. Ustet is the easiest. The second would be, for me, equal ang Lasal and Benilde. I feel like both their applications were almost the same. So it was online as well. You just needed scans of your birth cert and your pictures, yung mga ganun. And it was easy to fill up. The fourth would be upcat. It was relatively easy. A factor would have been because my school helped with the application, because I know there are some schools that don't manage the upcat application for you, so I guess it was a factor na rin na my school was able to help with the passing and telling me if something was wrong with my application, yung ganon. So all I had to do was fill it up. It was kinda long though, like a few pages as compared to the other applications. And lastly, the most difficult application was the acet. There were some schools who were eligible to apply online, but since my school wasn't included in that, I had to handwrite my application. And that was the first half of the hard part. The second half of the difficult part with the acet application is that you have to write an essay. So the essay prompt is more about yourself, so technically just selling yourself to them, so they would know you better. So a tip, you have to prepare your ID pictures, yung 1x1, 2x2s, the 2x2 ng upcat na may full name and signature. So you'll have to prepare a lot of that kasi you really need it. So for the second part, I will be talking about my study habits. So first thing, I know a lot of people are curious about review classes. I mean, if you are from batch 2021 and you're planning to take the sets this year, then I'm sure you're looking into review classes and you're wondering if you need to take it or you can just completely skip that part. I took review classes and I could definitely say it helped me a lot, like in terms of review materials and the mock test. So after taking the review classes, I feel like I could say na it's a 50-50 thing. It helped me a lot, lalo na because they gave mock tests that were patterned to the actual tests, so that really helped me, yung simulation na I felt like I was actually taking the test. That helped prepare me for what I was gonna face. And then they also helped with refreshing my memory, all the lessons I took from grade 7 to 10. I encountered this so much during my own sets. The sets cater to STEM students because we have math and sciences and everything like that, but I swear it's nothing like that. It's all lessons from grade 7 to 10, so like we are sure that we have covered those lessons talaga. Walang advantage yung STEM students because none of their lessons appeared none of their lessons appeared in the sets anyway. Since they were lessons that were from grade 7 to 10, it literally meant review classes. I'm the type of person who can't retain knowledge for so long, so I literally have to study for something specific. That's my opinion on review classes. It does help a lot, but it does not secure you a spot in the college you want to go to. So that's just a disclaimer, going into review classes. Like, you can't expect yourself to know everything once you're out of review classes. And another thing is they're quite expensive. So, well, it's your own choice. I didn't study for around 2 weeks after the reviews, and then I went back to school, enjoy start of my senior year. And then I didn't study, and then I started studying around 3rd week of August before the acet. I feel like you need the rest as well. So when it comes to self-studying, the first thing that I found really helpful was going through Twitter. There are so many Twitter threads that are all about their own sets experience as well as what to review. There are even threads that link reviewers under it. Sobrang naka-help talaga yun sa akin. I felt like I needed more resources because I didn't want to rely only on the sources that I have, but I wanted to see as well like what other people have prepared based on their own experiences. So when I started self-studying, I followed a daily schedule. Since the acet was first, I didn't have to study science muna. I focused on math. So like the first week I would study about geom, and then the second week it would be statistics, and then word problems, and then algebra. Basta ganon. Like, I had this manila paper where I wrote math formulas that I needed to remember, and then I stuck it on sa living room. Not even sa bedroom, I stuck it sa living room. Before my own tests, I'd see that before leaving for it. It refreshed my mind a lot. A lot of the sets experience videos that I watched last year said that they stopped studying at least a couple days before and at most a week before. And I tried. I really tried not to study anymore like a week before, but I couldn't. I feel like it came na rin kasi with the anxiety and with the worries that I would forget if I don't study. I guess that's why I continued studying even a week before, and even the night before I was studying for the test. It worked for me, but I'm not saying that it would work the same for you. You know yourself better and you know what works for you best. So if you think na you have to stop a week before to be able to relax and just retain the knowledge that you studied, you do that. But if you feel like you would be able to answer the test easily by studying until the night before, then do that as well. And lastly, the exams itself. Okay, so like I've mentioned, my first test was the acet. If I could rate it out of 10, I would say 8. It was really hard as a first set of my life, as in I was culture shocked. The test was divided into 2 parts. So the first part, it was the language proficiency and the math proficiency. So yung language proficiency, you have to answer, the basic vocabulary questions, spelling questions, grammar. You also have to write your own essay. This is where hell starts. So the second part of the test is aptitude. In this part, what you have to do is just read quick and then slash the circles. I'm sure you'll have a lot of time pa. That's when you shade. Until the proctor is explaining instructions for the next test, shade. And then they save the best for last, numerical ability. So ito yung topic that I was studying for until the night before the acet. I took the upcat next, and that would be a 9 out of 10. Plus science na kasi yun, so all the maths that I experienced in acet, and then plus science. So it was crazier. It really lives up to its name. It's really hard. And then the next test I took was the dcat. I'd say it was a 6. A 6 out of 10. This was a lot easier. I think this was the first test I took that I felt a bit lighter at the end. The special thing with dcat though is that they have parts allocated for stats and research. And then the B. The B was just happiness. I would rate the B mga a 5 out of 10. So they had math, language, and abstract reasoning. Math and language were relatively easy. For me, who's not really that good with photographic stuff, I found it quite difficult, but you can manage. You can manage. Kayang-kaya naman. This is after all my experiences na with cets. So like I knew what was coming, so I felt a whole lot more prepared with B than I was with acet. And then lastly, the ustet. I would rate the ustet an 8 out of 10. There was a whole month of break for me before I took the ustet. As in 1 month akong chill. And I only realized my regrets around a week before the ustet. So I started cram studying again. I feel like I guessed more than half of the math part. So it was really, really difficult. So I listed down some tips. So first, prepare your stuff in an envelope. I found this really helpful for me. So like I put my pencils, my ID form. What's that? Basta the slip that you'll need for that specific school. Yun lang yung dala ko, plus snacks and water. And then, breakfast. Eat heavy breakfast. But yung familiar like yung familiar breakfast to you. Don't eat something new kasi you never know what could occur. And don't drink coffee. Coffee makes you pee a lot. And it's not fun to keep going out during your test. Just skip the coffee. Water na lang. Use the bathroom na before. Like before taking the test, even if you don't feel like peeing, like at least try. It's such a hassle to go out but in the middle of your test. You're just wasting like a couple minutes of your time. So and then try and be there early. So the traffic, no matter which school, is just really bad. It's better to be there at most an hour early or at least 30 minutes early because baka hindi ka pa familiar with where you're gonna take your test. So, you know, it's better to be safe. Next, bring snacks. Snacks could be more of like a stress reliever, you know, it could calm you down. Even if you feel like you won't be eating, it's still handy to have snacks with you. Wear a watch. I found it really helpful to have a watch with me when I took the test. The digital one. Even if the proctor, you know, says the time out loud and how many minutes you have left, I feel like it's easier to track the time yourself. Okay, next. Dress appropriately. Guys, as much as you want to look cute, you have to dress appropriately and comfortably kasi you're gonna be sat there answering this difficult test for almost 4 hours or at most 5 hours. So like you have to be sure that you're comfortable with what you're wearing. If you know that the place is gonna be hot, then don't wear jackets or hoodies or long sleeves na, you know, you're gonna end up sweating. Not saying that no one will remember you during the sets, but you're all just going through a hard time. So, you know, just go through a hard time comfortably. And the last one is to pray. I always believe that our faith is stronger than all challenges, so I'm sure that he won't let you down and that he will always help you get through the hardships. See for Christ. So that's my sets experience. I ended up talking a lot. I wish you the best of luck in your own sets and see you in college.